Welcome to the Million Pound Mission Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Shively, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and I'm on a 1 million pound mission. I've personally lost over 100 pounds. I've helped my hometown lose over 35,000 pounds, and now I'm on a mission to produce over 1 million pounds of results by helping you gain clarity about what you need to do to reach your goals and give you the confidence to take action. And my friends, the perfect time to start taking action is now. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Million Pound Mission Podcast. It's your buddy Adam, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and this is episode number 194, How to Win in the Moment of Decision. How's it going out there in podcast land? We are in the heart of the holiday season. How is that treating you? You're off to a good start, at least by just plugging in to this podcast. You're listening now. So no matter what has happened so far in the holiday season, maybe Thanksgiving till now was an epic fail, but you're here with the PhD. I've got your back. We're going to get you fired up, and we're going to get you making better decisions, winning one decision at a time moving forward from this point. So speaking of decisions, after the show, hang out. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my Million Pound Mission Bootcamp. Registration is open. I'm getting a lot of questions about, Adam, should I do the Transformation Reboot program or should I plug into the bootcamp? What's the difference? So I'll tell you about that after the show if you want to hang out and chat a little bit after you get fired up here. So episode 194, How to Win in the Moment of Decision. I feel like if we can become more mindful decision makers, not perfect decision makers, just more mindful decision makers, we can win the transformation game. And we're going to win that battle with one solid decision at a time. The real key around decision making is we have to move from the point of making emotional decisions to making rational decisions. And that's where most of us mess up. Like, we stress out and we stress eat. We get ticked off, we get in an argument at work, and we let that evolve into other things down the road, and it leads to more bad decisions because it's an emotional decision. So I'm going to just kind of line this one up a little bit, and we're going to talk about becoming more mindful and winning in that moment of decision. Now, the first thing that I want to give you an example, because I feel like we need to set ourselves up to succeed by creating what I call binary decisions. All right, a binary decision is there's choice A or choice B. A non-binary decision is, well, there's choice A or there's choice B, but there's like a B1, a B2, a B3, and a B4. There's like multi-layered steps. And I'll explain this with an example with food. So there's a lot of people come to me and they're like, I cheat at night. That is my danger zone. And I get home from work, I do pretty good all day at work, but I get home, I'm hungry, and I cheat on my diet almost every night. I know a lot of you are like nodding your head. Yes, that's me also, Adam. And don't feel weird. Like it's obviously it's a common situation. So you're not like the one freak in the world that, cheats on your diet almost every night. This is really, really common. So the trick is creating a binary decision and being able to, again, think through this rationally, not emotionally. So in this example, this is what I mean by a binary decision. What most people do is they get home, they're kind of tired already, they may be a little bit stressed out, and they're hungry, so that's a bad start, right? And then they open the refrigerator, and we have to realize that our willpower is already depleted. We've worked a full day of work, we're tired, we're hungry, a little bit stressed out, and our decision-making powers, those decision-making superpowers, are kind of on life support at this point. You open the fridge, and you're going to go for the easiest option. And a lot of times that is the cheat food, the ice cream, the leftover pizza, whatever is there. Or on the way home, probably more common, drive-through. We hit Taco Bell, we hit whatever. I don't want to get sued by like fast food chains for talking bad about them. But that's a lot of times the easier decision because it's a non-binary decision. What we realizing that there's the choice A would be take the cheat food, And choice B would be eat healthy, but there's a B1, a B2, a B3. It's a multi-leveled decision because there is no healthy food. You have to think, all right, well, what healthy food would I want to make? And then I have to make it. Do I have the groceries for that? Do I have the time to make that? And by the time we think through those decisions, we're like, screw it, I want the pizza that's right there. Or I'm just gonna hit the drive-thru. It's easier. I'm tired. And we've all been there. I've been there. I used to do this all the time. I was like, I've worked 14 hours today. I'm not screwing around with cooking anything. Let's go hit Taco Bell, 10 tacos for $10, and I eat them all. And that was my success formula to weigh 327 pounds. So the way we create a binary decision in this example is we meal prep, right? And this works with people that cheat at work also, is we know that if we say we open the fridge and there's leftover pizza there or whatever, but there's also a nice prepped, on-plan meal ready to go, I can heat up the pizza or I can heat up the healthy meal. That's a binary decision, and that is what we want to create, my friends. So it takes a little bit of forethought. It takes a little bit of mindfulness. It takes a little bit of planning, a little bit of effort. But if the why is bigger than the why not, if you really do want to achieve these goals, then it's worth it, right? So we do some meal prep ahead of time. I really love, using like midweek crock pot meals. You do the crock pot while you sleep or while you're at work. I know I've mentioned this before, but the whole This Is Us show has ruined crock pot cooking. People that watch that show were like, spoiler alert, like the dad gets killed because of a crock pot fire, which I haven't watched it. I'm abstaining from the show because they're anti-crock pot, but I have a hard time getting people to use crock pots that watch this show. But I still love the crock pot. I've never caught my house on fire from using a crock pot. And I believe that it's safe. You use your crock pot wisely. Practice safe crock potting, everyone. But I like to toss some food in there at night, and in the morning it's ready to go. And I've got some meals so that when I hit those moments of decision and I open the fridge and it's okay, ice cream's on that side, or I've got my chicken thigh and cabbage and oh my God, I do this new one now. I've upped, I only eat like 5 things total. And one of the things I like to make a lot is my world famous cabbage crock pot stew. I do chicken thighs, I do some salsa, and I do like a half a head of cabbage, and I just cut it all up, toss it in there for 8 hours, slow and low, and it's ready to go in the morning. But I've been adding burnt bacon ends. Like, I never really knew what these were. I just knew there was bacon, but I go to my local healthy market, and there's organic beef, no antibiotics and all that. And it's like these little chunks of bacon that you can toss in there. And oh my God, it's a game changer. It's amazing, especially if you're on keto. You're going to love this. But try that one out. But if that's sitting there, I'm like, this is delicious. It's on my meal plan and I'm hungry, so I'm just going to eat that. And it's an easy binary decision. And that is how I want you to set yourselves up. So if you have a danger zone that is created by a moment of decision that you consistently fail at, the first step is to say, how do I create a binary decision here? How do I do a choice A or choice B? A lot of times we can't eliminate that unhealthy choice. It's always going to be there. Like, that temptation is always going to be there. We can't just be Jedi masters and be like, Taco Bell does not exist. Like, it exists. It's always there. And, every once in a while it runs through my mind, but the better you get at making decisions, the more you build that muscle, the easier it is to make the healthy decision. So creating a binary decision is a very, very important first step. Another strategy that I use with clients is a 5-minute buffer, where if we'll use the example of cheating on your nutrition plan, or just going off your plan. Some people don't like to use the word cheating. All right, that's okay. That's the word that I use. So with this strategy, all I ask is, okay, you cheat every day at work because people bring food into the back office and it's there, it's too tempting, you can't handle it, and you cheat. Okay, here's the new rule. When you go back there and you think, I think I'm going to cheat, you set a timer on your watch or your phone or whatever for 5 minutes, and you just let that run out. You go about doing whatever it is that you're doing, And then when that buzzer goes off, if you're like, okay, I'm still going to cheat, then go and cheat. All right. But that's going to take that 5-minute buffer is going to take us out of that like primal instinct, emotional reaction into hopefully a more rational state of you at least have to think about it. It's going to be present in your mind for 5 minutes. Maybe the urge to eat that just gets stronger, or maybe you start thinking rationally and you're like, okay, I can just go for a walk, or I can just drink some water, or I can eat what I've already got. I created a binary decision. I've got healthy food in the cooler. I can just get that and I'm good to go. So the 5-minute buffer strategy tends to help a lot, especially if you tend to just really cave in consistently. It's kind of a baby step. So you're not saying, oh, I can't have that. It's just saying, wait 5 minutes. And actually just waiting the 5 minutes, even if you still cheat, waiting the 5 minutes, that's a decision win. And that's going to build that decision-making muscle. It's going to actually build your willpower a little bit because you didn't give up total control. You still took the cheat, but you took that first step to taking control. And maybe the next, you go a couple of weeks with a 5-minute buffer, and then you up it to like a 10-minute buffer, and then you go to a 15 or a half an hour or an hour, and start extending that time. And the longer you can make that buffer zone, the greater the chance is that you actually make the right decision and make the healthy decision. So try that out as well. I'm really psyched about that. It's really working well for people. Now, I have created a new tool. I'm going to take you guys through the process. I call this the big decision filter, because I feel like the big decisions are where people freak out. We stress out. We, beat ourselves up about things. And it's something that, sometimes we don't need to do that, right? We don't necessarily need to do that. And it's those like, I'll give you an example that we'll use here is one of my clients, Lisa, that she's lost a ton of weight. She's lost 150 pounds. And I just got off the phone with her right before I recorded this episode. And we did she's in my transformation reboot group. We talked about some things there. We did a small group video chat. And she talked about how her knees are bothering her. They've been bothering her for a while. And the big decision is she's scared to go and get them checked out because she thinks she might need a knee replacement because that kind of runs in her family. So that's the big decision hanging over her, and she's stressing out about it. So I've got this process that I'm going to take you guys through it right now, and I hope that it helps. I'm going to actually, if you guys are in my Transformation Reboot community, I'm going to make this one of the monthly lessons. You're going to have a download, and you'll be able to download it and go through everything right there. Shout out to the Reboot crew. And if you guys do want to join that, shameless plug, go to millionpoundmission.com and check out the Transformation Reboot program. This is the type of thing we talk about on a monthly basis. We have little tools that we work with. So the big decision filter, all right? The first thing, what are the circumstances of the decision? What are you deciding on or deciding between? So somebody might be deciding whether they want to accept a new job or not. Or maybe somebody is unhappy in a relationship and they're deciding whether to get out of that or not. Or maybe they're just deciding that it's time to start making themselves a priority and start getting healthy, right? So what are the circumstances of the decision? With Lisa, the circumstances are her knees are bothering her and she's freaking out because she thinks that she might need surgery, all right? And with that, it's not so much the surgery, it's the loss of momentum. And people that have lost that much weight, she's lost 150 pounds, they fear gaining it back. Everybody does. But the more you lose, the more that fear is actually there of, man, if something really bad happens, I could gain it back and I don't want to go back there. And that's actually a good sign that you care that much. So anyway, second step is what is the safety net or what is keeping you inside of your comfort zone, right? What's that thing that's keeping you from taking action with this decision, one way or the other? And a lot, like with Lisa, her safety net, her comfort zone is right now, she's just dealing with the pain. She doesn't actually know whether she needs surgery or not. And that's actually a comfort zone because if she doesn't know, if she doesn't have anybody telling her she needs surgery, then she doesn't have to worry about surgery. All right. So that's the safety net that she's dealing with. Next step, what is the worst case scenario and what is the best case scenario. So with Lisa, we talked about worst case scenario, best case scenario. Worst case scenario for her is she needs surgery. Like they say, you need a knee replacement. We need to get on this sooner than later, and we've got to deal with that, right? Best case scenario is she just gets like an anti-inflammatory shot or gets on a new, she has to do some physical therapy. It's a quick fix, right? So what's the worst case? What is the best case? The next step, and just, to hammer this point home, when I was talking with Lisa, I was like, what if the best case scenario is actually what happens? Like, why would you want to delay finding out the result of what you actually need to have happen another month? Because maybe they just give you an injection and you're back to normal the next day and pain-free. The risk is they tell you that, yeah, you do need a knee replacement, but at least we know, and we can start taking action in line with that. But what if you waste all this time worrying about it and waste in pain for months, and they have a simple solution for you? So that kind of got her to ease her nerves a little bit. Okay, next step. What are 3 stepping stones to let go of your safety net or get outside of your comfort zone? All right, so whatever it is that's holding you inside that comfort zone, what are 3 stepping stones to get you out of there, to get you willing to start considering other options, right? So maybe you're in a relationship that you're not happy with. What are the 3 stepping stones? And that's comfortable. Maybe you've been married forever, dating for a long time, or maybe you've been in a job or a career for a long time and you're very, very comfortable there. What are 3 stepping stones that are kind of like a safe, secure path to getting you comfortable with the idea of getting outside of your comfort zone? All right, maybe it's getting some counseling, maybe it's talking to some friends, maybe it's having a discussion with your boss or your spouse or your partner. All right, but what are those 3 stepping stones? And then what are 3 stepping stones to get you moving towards your best case scenario? All right, so with Lisa, I was like, stepping stone number 1, we need to talk to a doctor, because that's how we find out whether it's plan A or plan B, right? So we need to get out there and actually talk to an expert and find out what needs to happen next. That's the first stepping stone. The next stepping stone after that is taking action on it. Like maybe it's physical therapy. Maybe it's let's get our mindset right for a knee replacement. But we have to just be able to envision those next steps. All right, the next level, if things were easy right now, what would that look like? So whatever it is you're making that decision about, put yourself in, Tim Ferriss asked this question. I love this question. If this was easy, what would it look like? So with Lisa's example, if it's easy, she goes to the doctor. They say, hey, here's some exercises to do. I know she's always willing to put in the work, because that's how she's gotten such a phenomenal transformation going for herself. And that would be the easy solution. The pain goes away. So just start envisioning that. Again, I want to really hammer that home. Another way to phrase this question would be, if you were 100% happy right now, what would that look like? So either way, whichever option fits your decision that you're making, use that. So maybe it's, if you're 100% happy right now, if you're dealing with a career change, that's the big decision, or if a relationship change, that's the big decision. If you were 100% happy right now, what would that look like? And be honest with yourself and just allow yourself to explore that thought. And don't say, oh, this could never happen, or I would never be able to pull this off. That's your comfort zone pulling you back in, right? And our goal is just to explore the idea of, why not be happy? Why not be 100% happy now? We got one life to live, so why not? All right? So explore those options. And then finally, what is the next good decision or the next action step that needs to happen? I like the 24-hour rule. So in the next 24 hours, what can you do to set all this into momentum? Like, with Lisa, I said, the next step, schedule an appointment. Let's just schedule an appointment. That's the next step. That's the first domino that we push over to solving all of this. And then we find out what happens. And I said, I've got your back as a coach. The Reboot community is amazing. They're going to support you either way. We'll get you through it, no matter what the doctor says. But the first step, the first domino that we need to push over is booking that appointment with the doctor. And let's just find out, right? So hopefully this process will help you. It's something that I believe in. I believe that winning in that moment of decision, like I said at the very, very beginning, we don't have to win every decision. We don't have to become perfect decision makers. We need to be better at making mindful decisions. We need to be better at moving from emotional to rational thinking. And we need to be better at just allowing ourselves to think through a process that's not just like this continuing momentous, ball of stress where we just stress out about it. Because stressing out about a decision and thinking through a decision rationally are two totally different things. I think a lot of you sitting out there, myself included, we just get anxious, we get stressed out, and we only think about all the bad stuff that could happen in those worst case scenarios and all that. So I hope that the big decision filter, this process, I hope it helps you just sit down and you can kind of have a conversation with yourself, or you can, basically pull yourself up out of the situation for 10 or 15 minutes, make some notes, think through this and get some rational thinking going so that you can make an informed decision, a better decision, and not, we will continue to stress out about things until we start moving things into action. We don't want to sit and just go, all right, I hope that something just magically appears for me, because most likely that won't happen, or it won't be something that's in our favor. So we need to initiate, again, push over that first domino, and then we start reacting and taking action along with that. So that is how we win in the moment of decision. Again, quick recap. We want to be more mindful decision makers. That's how we win the transformation game. We want to set ourselves up for binary decisions. I gave you a great example with nighttime eating there. Use that 5-minute buffer strategy and then extend that buffer to build your willpower and build those decision-making muscles. And then use that big decision filter when you are hit with one of those giant life moments that you really need to think through, my friends. And I just want you guys to know, as we wrap up this episode, like we're approaching 200 episodes. You guys have been on the journey with me, and things are really, they're really going good. Like it's something I'm really psyched about, to be in this relationship with you guys. And I want you to know that as long as one of you out there is listening and this is connecting, I'm going to keep doing this, because I get people that email me or send me messages on social media, and it happens, every other day or so. And somebody says, this really helped. And that is just fuel for my fire. That is fuel for my soul to keep doing this, because I'm not, this is, like I've said it before, this isn't the $1 million mission. It's the $1 Million Pound Mission. I'm fueled by impact. Like that is my goal, is impact, leaving a mark. I feel like I think differently, and I feel like I'm not using my unique abilities if I'm not out talking and doing podcasting and teaching people this way that I'm thinking. I did I want to give a couple people a shout out. I did a reboot group, small group Zoom chat with a new member. Shout out to Marilyn from Michigan and her friend Sandy from Chicago, who's going to be joining us soon. But Marilyn just said that she heard me on another show. Shout out to Matt and Mega from Keto for Normies. And she's like, you just seem like the missing link for what I need. And I was like, wow, that's exactly what I want to feel like when somebody hears my stuff. Like, this is the thing I've been waiting to hear. So I'm really psyched, because it seems like we're making a good connection. And I always appreciate when you guys share episodes out and things like that. That helps me tremendously. But I've got some big ideas for 2019. I've got some really exciting things. I've got some big decisions to make myself. Like, this is going to be a really, really big year. And I'm excited about the way things are going. I'm really, really excited about the impact that we're making. And I'm just excited to continue and further our relationship as podcaster and podcast listeners, and more importantly, as coach and client and friend relationships that we're building as you guys reach out and connect. So keep doing that. And my friends, together, we're going to get out there. We're going to own it every meal, every workout, every day. I'll see you on the next episode. All right, my friends, thanks for hanging out after the show. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode. And speaking of winning a moment of decision, I'm getting a lot of inquiries about the Million Pound Mission Bootcamp. And one of the most frequently asked questions is, Adam, should I do the Transformation Reboot program or should I do the Million Pound Mission Bootcamp? What's the difference? So real quick, I want to explain a few of the differences. You can investigate on your own. Just go to millionpoundmission.com. All the information is right there. You can look at both programs, see what the best fit is for you. You can even use this process. Option A, Transformation Reboot. Option B, Million Pound Mission Bootcamp. And go through all the processes that big decision filter that I just explained. But the best way to describe this is the Transformation Reboot program is more long game. It's more long-term thinking, steady pace. It's more of a marathon. The boot camp is a sprint. It's 8 weeks. It is hardcore. We are getting after it. We are diving in and going deep, quick, and we really need people to engage right away and hit the ground running with that. So both are amazing programs. Ideal, if we're going to talk ideal situation, if you're like, Adam, just tell me what the heck to do, I would say start with the boot camp to really get your momentum, just rocket fuel, and then we use the Transformation Reboot program as a continuing support program. That would be ideal in my mind, but maybe you don't want to wait until January 7th. Maybe you want to start right now. Then just jump into the Reboot program. My friend Marilyn from Michigan just did that, and that's a great decision. She needed support now, so she did the program. You can start a Reboot program anytime. You can join right now and get started. The boot camp we're only doing twice a year. We'll do one here in January, one in August. So just those are a few of the differences. If you do decide to do boot camp, like I said, you need to have your mind right where you're ready to rock, because we will expect effort. There's daily accountability where you report in to one of my coaches every single day. There's homework each week that I'm going to hold you accountable to, but we're going to really dig in together, put in work together. You're going to feel fully supported. And like I said, it can be rocket fuel for your transformation. If you're in the right mind frame, if you're willing to accept coaching, if you're willing to be supported, if you're willing to be held accountable, then that's a great option. So that's a little bit more about the two options there. Take action with me as a coach. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to go to millionpoundmission.com, hit the contact button, send me an email, or just hit me up on Instagram at millionpoundmission. Send me a DM, and I'll reply back to you as soon as I can. Either way, we are going to kick some butt in the new year, and we're going to take the best possible care of you, my friends. And I will see you on the next episode. Sound check, check. Sound check. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. We're good.